This video is for Chapter 2. It's learning how to do calculations with significant digits, and this time we're going to show you how to multiply or divide numbers. So, in this rule, your answer can have as many significant digits as the measurement that had the least number of sigdigs. So remember, in multiplying and dividing, what you are going to pay attention to is how many significant digits are in each of your measurements. Your answer can only have as many as the one that had the fewest. Now, to practice this is how you're going to make sense of it. So let's look at your sheet. Again, you're going to want a calculator handy to do these. So if you don't have a calculator, pause this video right now and go find one. And come back when you have one and you can do this calculator or this math on your calculator. So for example A, we're going to take the number 372 centimeters and multiply it by the number of 487 centimeters. Now, if you were to do that in your calculator, you'd get a fairly large number, something like 181,164. Now, since we took centimeters times centimeters, our label would actually be centimeters squared, like an area. Now, what we are doing, since we multiplied these numbers, is we can only pay attention to the number of significant digits in each of the measurements. So if you go to 372, the 3, the 7, and the 2 are all significant because they're not zeros. So this has 3 sigdigs. 3 sigdigs. SD will stand for sigdigs. The number 487 also has 3 significant digits. So since both measurements have 3 significant digits, my answer can only contain 3 significant digits. Now, I would want to keep from the beginning of the number the 1, the 8, and the 1, and everything else would have to turn into zeros. But there's a problem with this. If you notice, this is a big number that ends in zeros. It must be written in scientific notation. So if you remember, the decimal's currently at the end, and to get a number between 1 and 10, we'd have to move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places. So we would want to write our answer as 1.81 times 10 to the 5th, because that's how many places we had to move our decimal, and then centimeters squared. The reason we can only keep 1.81 is because that number now has 3 significant digits. Let's try B. If you want to try B on your own, you certainly can. If you look at B, you are taking 8,001 grams and you are dividing by 0.082 milliliters. Now, if you do this in your calculator, now everybody's calculators are going to be slightly different, but my calculator gives me a lot of digits. This is the reading I get. 97,573 point, and then this goes on for a bit, 17073. Now the label, since I took grams divided by milliliters, would be grams per milliliter. The problem is I can't keep all of these digits. The rules say that I can only have as many significant digits in my answer as the measurement that had the fewest number. So let's look. 8,001. How many significant digits are in that number right there? Well, the 8 and the 1 are significant, and the zeros that are between them have to be. So this one has 4 significant digits. The 0.082 milliliters, the 8 and the 2 are significant. These zeros are called placeholders. So this measurement only has 2 significant digits. That means my answer can only have 2 significant digits. So I'm going to keep the 9 and the 7, the first 2 digits. The rest are going to have to turn into zeros. I can pretty much ignore all these decimals. Now be careful. What should happen to the 7 because it has a 5 next to it? If you said it should round up, you were right. So when you round this, it would become 98,000. Now, is it okay to have a big number that ends in zeros? I'm hoping you're saying no, because it isn't. And you'd want to write this in scientific notation. So this would have to be written as 9.8 times 10 to the, and then you'd count your decimal places. 1, 2, 3, 4. Should be 4 grams per milliliter. And then in our last problem, you are multiplying again, you are taking 2,520 centimeters squared and you're multiplying by 0.00113 centimeters. Now do that in your calculator and you should get a number like 2.8476 on your calculator. So 2.8476. Now what should the label be if you take centimeters squared times centimeters? Hopefully you're figuring out that it should be centimeters cubed. Now, is this an okay answer? Well, you're multiplying numbers again, so your answer can only have as many significant digits as the measurement that had the fewest. Let's look at 2, 5, 2, 0. The 2 with the 5 and the 2 are all significant. This 0 we don't think counts. It's at the end of a number and on the left side, so we can't count it. So we'd say this number has 3 significant digits. However, this number, the 1, and the 3 are going to count, and these zeros are placeholders, so they don't count. This number also has 3 significant digits. So how many digits can our answer have? Well, hopefully you decided that it can have 3, the 2, the 8, and the 4. On your last digit, you always want to look to make sure you should be rounding or not. And in this case, you should be rounding because the number next to the 4 is 5 or higher. So we would round this to 3 significant digits, and it would be 2.85 centimeters cubed. Hopefully now you are a little bit more practiced at how to multiply and divide numbers with significant digits, and we will practice this more in class.